Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Rashida Jones, a multi-hyphenate force who redefined the modern creative. Rashida Jones has long been one of Hollywood's most quietly powerful voices, a performer, creator, writer, and producer who moves with a kind of understated confidence. Whether you know her as the charmingly grounded Ann Perkins from Parks and Recreation, the sharp and sophisticated co-writer of Pixar's Toy Story 4, or the thoughtful documentarian behind Quincy, Jones has built a career that refuses to fit into a single genre or identity. Early life. Born into artistry, driven by curiosity. Born February 25, 1976, in Los Angeles, Rashida Leah Jones grew up at the intersection of music, film, and cultural influence. Her father is legendary music producer Quincy Jones, and her mother was the beloved actress Peggy Lipton. But instead of cruising on family fame, Rashida carved her own intellectual path first, attending Harvard University, where she studied religion and philosophy and developed a passion for storytelling. Her early interests leaned heavily toward writing and activism, long before she found herself in front of cameras. Rise to fame. Comedy, heart, and range. Jones began landing roles in early 2000s TV. But her big breakthrough came as Karen Filippelli on The Office, where she brought a perfectly dry comedic tone that became her trademark. Soon after, Parks and Recreation made her a household name. As Ann Perkins, she was the steady emotional core of the ensemble cast, playing off Amy Poehler's Leslie Knope with warmth and impeccable timing. Her film work, from I Love You, Man to Celeste and Jessie Forever, which she co-wrote, consistently showcased her thoughtful, human approach to character-driven comedy and drama. Behind the scenes, writing, directing, producing. What truly makes Rashida Jones stand out is how much she thrives behind the curtain. She co-wrote Toy Story 4, becoming one of the rare women to shape a major Pixar feature. She produced and co-directed Quincy, the award-winning Netflix documentary about her father, a project celebrated for its emotional depth and intimate storytelling. She has continually championed female voices and diverse perspectives in Hollywood, using her platform to push for more inclusive narratives. Jones has also worked in music videos, brand campaigns, and scripted TV development, proving there's basically no creative lane she can't drive. Recent work and evolving voice. In recent years, Jones has leaned deeper into mature, nuanced roles and thoughtful productions. Her starring turn in Sofia Coppola's On the Rocks, 2020, reminded audiences of her effortless dramatic range. While her work as a producer continues to expand into documentaries and prestige television, she's become a voice of cultural insight, someone who can discuss fame, identity, family, and creativity with remarkable clarity. Legacy. A modern creative with no limits. Rashida Jones has never been the type to chase the loudest spotlight, and that's exactly what makes her one of the most compelling figures in entertainment today. She's proof that you can be funny and philosophical, glamorous and grounded, a writer and an actor, all at once. Her work continues to shape Hollywood from both sides of the camera, leaving behind a blueprint for future creatives who refuse to be boxed in. A deeper look at Rashida Jones, creativity, identity, and a career built on intention. A childhood surrounded by culture and complications. Growing up in a home filled with artistic energy shaped Rashida in ways that went far beyond fame. Her father, Quincy Jones, brought the world of global music into their household, while her mother, Peggy Lipton, brought a cool, introspective acting sensibility. But despite this glamorous backdrop, Rashida often speaks candidly about the complexities of identity, particularly being biracial in the public eye. As a teenager, she leaned into academics and activism more than performance. She played classical piano, excelled in school, and even considered becoming a lawyer before the arts pulled her back in. Harvard years, the influence of intellect at Harvard. Rashida wasn't the stereotypical celebrity kid cruising through college. She threw herself into campus life, editing the Harvard Lampoon, performing in theater, and studying religion and philosophy as a way of understanding human nature. These intellectual roots show up everywhere in her later work, in the emotional honesty of Celeste and Jessie Forever, in the reflective tone of Quincy, and even in her comedic timing, which often contains an undercurrent of self-awareness. Breakthrough roles. Comedy meets compassion. Jones' rise in Hollywood has always been marked by subtlety rather than flash. She doesn't play characters who take over the room, she plays characters who ground the room. Her defining roles include Karen Filippelli, The Office, a role that started small but became crucial to the show's dynamic. Rashida's dry humor and calm presence made Karen a memorable part of the Jim Pam arc. Ann Perkins, Parks and Recreation, possibly her most beloved character. Ann is the emotional foil to Leslie Knope's boundless energy, a best friend who's smart, supportive, and unafraid to call things out with a straight face. Angie Tribeca, a wild shift into slapstick. Here, she proved she could carry a full-on parody series with deadpan brilliance. Writer at heart, crafting stories that hit home even early in her acting career, Jones was writing screenplays on the side. Her breakout as a writer came with Celeste and Jessie Forever, 2012, which she co-wrote and starred in. The film is a rare blend of romantic comedy and bittersweet realism, the kind of story only someone with her mix of humor and emotional intelligence could craft. She writes characters who feel real, flawed, and deeply human. Her projects often circle themes like love, identity, family, and the awkward ways people try to communicate with each other. Documentary work. Honesty and vulnerability. One of Rashida's most impressive achievements is the 2018 Netflix documentary Quincy, which she co-directed with Alan Hicks. Rather than glamorize her father's legendary career, she chose a more intimate approach, focusing on his health challenges, vulnerabilities, and reflections near the end of his life's major chapter. The film earned a Grammy Award for Best Music Film, further establishing Rashida as a serious filmmaker. She has also produced or appeared in other documentary projects covering everything from internet culture to social issues, always choosing topics with depth and personal meaning. Shaping Hollywood behind the scenes. Jones is part of a growing wave of creatives, particularly women, reshaping Hollywood by taking control of content creation. She has developed series for major streaming platforms, advocated for more diversity in writers' rooms, collaborated with female directors and producers, used her platform to challenge stereotypes about women and people of mixed heritage. She tends to pick projects that align with her values rather than simply expanding her resume. Style and public persona. Understated and authentic. Rashida Jones isn't chasing the spotlight, she's curating her own space. Her public presence is calm, thoughtful, a little quirky, and always genuine. She's fashionable without forcing it, funny without trying too hard, and articulate without sounding rehearsed. Fans often describe her as relatable but aspirational, someone who seems like she could be your smartest friend, who also casually co-wrote a Pixar movie. Future directions. A career still evolving. Jones shows no signs of slowing down. Her recent work suggests she'll continue balancing acting in emotionally rich or stylish indie films, developing prestige-level series, producing and directing documentaries, writing screenplays that challenge genre norms. Her career feels less like a traditional Hollywood climb and more like a curated portfolio, full of intention, curiosity, and experimentation. Further exploration of Rashida Jones' influence, philosophy, and the making of a modern storyteller, a creative philosophy rooted in empathy at the heart of Rashida Jones's work, whether she's acting, writing, or directing, is a noticeable sense of empathy. She gravitates toward characters who feel human and stories that acknowledge life's imperfections. Jones once described herself as a sentimental person with a skeptical brain, and honestly, that yin-yang dynamic is all over her creative output. Her best characters often live at the intersection of humor and vulnerability. Ann Perkins, always trying to make sense of the chaos around her Celeste, navigating divorce while still loving the person she's separating from Laura in On the Rocks, quietly processing marital doubt. Rashida's characters don't unravel, they reveal themselves. The Jones family legacy, and her unique place within it. The Jones family is essentially a cultural universe unto itself. Quincy Jones reshaped modern music. Peggy Lipton became a style icon and TV trailblazer. But Rashida didn't inherit her success, she built her lane. What stands out is how she handles the expectations that come with her last name. With humility, curiosity, and humor. She has described her upbringing as both privileged and complex, a childhood full of love, but shaped by racial identity, fame, and the pressure to live up. Instead of rebelling or conforming, she chose a third route, to understand people. That's why her work resonates, it's rooted in observation and emotional intelligence, not spectacle. Comedy partnerships and creative chemistry. Rashida's career is full of relationships with big comedic talents. Her collaborations say a lot about the way she works. Amy Poehler. Their chemistry was the backbone of Parks and Rec. They built a believable, wholesome female friendship rarely seen on TV at the time. Andy Samberg. Her real-life friend and co-star in Celeste and Jesse Forever. Their natural banter created a heartbreakingly honest breakup movie. Steve Carell and Rainn Wilson, on The Office. She matched their energy with studied restraint. Rashida's writing partners, from Will McCormick to Alan Hicks, she tends to choose collaborators with sensitive, thoughtful approaches. Her comedy is gentle, observational, and emotionally grounded, never loud, never forced. Music, fashion, and pop culture footprint. While Rashida is primarily known for film and TV, she has a surprisingly wide pop culture reach. Music, she directed music videos, including for Grammy-winning artists. She co-wrote songs with friends in the industry. Her documentary work connects deeply with music history. Fashion. Jones has become a quiet style icon, known for effortlessly cool, minimalist looks. She favors clean silhouettes, muted tones, and timeless pieces, almost like she's allergic to trends. She's often praised for her accessible, borrow from your best friend's closet vibe. Pop culture. With Angie Tribeca, she embraced absurdist humor. With Black Mirror, she explored dystopian storytelling. With Toy Story 4, she helped shape a global cultural milestone. Few Hollywood figures move this fluidly between tone, audience, and format. Activism and public voice. Rashida Jones uses her platform carefully, speaking up on issues she has lived or deeply researched. Representation in media, racial identity and biracial experiences, women's rights and gender equity, digital privacy and internet culture. She isn't a megaphone activist, she's more of a thoughtful commentator. When she speaks, it's measured, personal, and grounded in real-life experience. Awards, recognition, and industry respect. While Rashida hasn't pursued awards-heavy roles, she's quietly built an impressive list of honors. Grammy Award for Quincy, Best Music Film, NAACP Image Award nominations for acting and writing, Critics' Choice and Independent Spirit nods for her screenwriting, WGA recognition for her work on Toy Story 4. But perhaps more important is the industry respect she commands. Executives, fellow actors, and directors frequently describe her as reliable, emotionally intelligent, professionally versatile, a bridge builder. On set, she is what Hollywood calls a steady hand, someone who elevates everyone around her. A legacy in progress. Rashida Jones's career isn't built on blockbuster fame. It's built on intention. She creates with purpose, collaborates with care, and constantly experiments. As she continues evolving, she's carving out a new kind of Hollywood legacy, one defined not by marquee roles but by integrity, intellect, and curiosity. Rashida Jones. The quiet architect of a new Hollywood. Her power lies in subtlety. One of the most interesting things about Rashida Jones is how intentionally she avoids becoming a celebrity persona. In a world where actors often get louder to stay relevant, Rashida's influence grows through the opposite, being selective, thoughtful, and a little mysterious. There's a real discipline behind it. She doesn't overshare. She's not chasing viral moments. And when she does speak publicly, she delivers ideas, not headlines. You can tell she's someone who thinks before she talks, and that quiet confidence carries straight into her work. Her relationship with fame, a case study in healthy detachment. Rashida's history with fame is complicated but refreshingly mature. Growing up as Quincy Jones's daughter meant she was surrounded by legends: Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, Oprah, Ray Charles. For many kids, that kind of environment could warp expectations or create ego. But Rashida seems to have gone the other way. She often says she never felt like she fit into fame, that she observed it, studied it, treated it like an anthropologist rather than a participant. It explains her grounded personality. She learned early that fame isn't fulfillment, substance is. That's why her projects often feel meaningful, personal, or socially conscious. The intellectual edge, storytelling as analysis. You can spot a Rashida Jones project by its intelligence. Even when the tone is comedic, there's always something sharper underneath. Parks and Recreation. Right Pointing Arrow explores government, friendship, and community. Celeste and Jesse Forever. Right Pointing Arrow examines love versus compatibility. Black Mirror. Nosedive. Right Pointing Arrow critiques social media and validation culture. She co-wrote this. Hot Girls Wanted. Right Pointing Arrow exposes complexities in the internet age adult industry. Quincy. Right Pointing Arrow documents legacy through vulnerability, not myth-making. These aren't flashy themes. They're human themes. She approaches storytelling almost like an essayist, curious, analytical, empathetic. Her impact on representation. Soft but significant. Rashida Jones has always occupied a unique space in Hollywood as a biracial woman with a racially ambiguous appearance. She's spoken openly about feeling between worlds, not fully fitting stereotypes of black roles or white roles. And instead of letting the industry dictate her identity, she shaped her own lane, playing characters who aren't defined by race but whose humanity is front and center. Her presence quietly challenged casting norms. She normalized seeing women of mixed heritage as leads in comedies, dramas, and mainstream TV, without needing to make it the plot. That's real representation. The kind that rewrites expectations simply by existing. Collaborators on Rashida. The friend everyone wants. People who work with her often describe the same traits. She listens more than she speaks. She's calm but sharp. She's collaborative, not competitive. She has the rare ability to make others better. Amy Poehler once joked that Ann Perkins was the world's most perfect nurse, but honestly, Rashida kind of gives off that energy too. The person everyone trusts, the person everyone thinks is secretly the smartest one in the group. That's why she moves so easily between genres and teams. She's the glue type. Her approach to choosing roles, a personal filter. Rashida isn't the type to accept every script thrown her way. Her decisions feel curated. She tends to choose roles that offer one of three things: emotional complexity, creative collaboration. She believes in a chance to explore or experiment. This is why her filmography is diverse but cohesive. It reflects intention. She's not chasing fame, awards, or box office hits. She's chasing meaning. A future behind the camera? Absolutely. A lot of industry insiders believe Rashida's long-term legacy will be as a filmmaker, not an actress. Her gifts, empathy, vision, patience, intelligence, are tailor-made for directing and producing. She's already proven she can handle documentaries, scripted comedy, character-driven drama, large-scale studio projects, socially conscious storytelling if she leans deeper into the director's chair. It's not hard to imagine her becoming a defining storyteller of her generation. Why she resonates so deeply with fans. Rashida Jones gives people something rare, a sense of calm clarity. She's funny but not chaotic, smart but not pretentious, stylish but not unrelatable, successful but not self-serious. Her energy is your incredibly intelligent friend who also knows how to relax. And in an industry full of noise, she's refreshingly quiet, in the best possible way. Conclusion: the artist of choice. Not chance. Rashida Jones has built a career driven not by force but by finesse. She's an artist who chooses carefully, creates thoughtfully, and evolves gracefully. She's had access to fame her whole life, but she chose authenticity instead. Her story is proof that you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to shape culture. You just have to be someone who understands it, deeply, compassionately, and with an unshakable sense of self. Rashida Jones, a life built on curiosity, craft, and quiet power. The Social Observer. How Rashida sees the world. If you look closely at Rashida Jones's interviews, scripts, and performances, a pattern emerges. She is deeply, almost academically, fascinated by human behavior. Not in a judgmental way, more like someone who watches life unfold with a sense of wonder and analysis. This is why her writing often digs into emotional contradictions. How can two people love each other and still need to separate? Why does validation feel so addictive in the digital age? How does legacy shape identity? What makes a friendship last, evolve, or quietly fall apart? Rashida writes and performs as if she's always turning the emotional Rubik's Cube in her hands, examining it from every angle. The Harvard Lampoon influence. Comedy with brains. A lot of people don't realize she.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.